I'm very sorry, miss, but you cannot park your car here.
Oh. And why is that?
It is my job to inform you that this parking space has been reserved for expectant mothers. This establishment is very sensitive to females carrying human larvae and are endeavoring to save them a difficult walk into the store.
Well, I am terribly sorry. I will only be here a moment. I promise I will not be in the way.
That simply will not do. You will have to move your car immediately.
Oh, fine then. I will just move to the spot next to it.
Terribly sorry, miss, but that will not do either. We have reserved that spot for mothers with small children in tow.
Well, how do you know I'm not expecting anyhow?
Surely you don't expect me to believe that a menopausal bitch such as yourself could possibly be with child. In fact, judging by your conservative dress and hideous snarling face, I would be willing to bet you have always been barren and devoid of the ability to create a life.
Well, that is a damn good point. Fine. I see another spot next to that one. Now get out of my way and I will move my car.
Well, I cannot possibly explain the delight I feel in being the bearer of bad news, you old bag, but that spot and the remainder of the spots in this row are reserved for mothers with small children who are also expecting, but are still in their first trimester. You'll simply have to park somewhere else. I see a spot back there that is perfect for you.
Well, that spot must be at least a mile away. All I want is a carton of milk. Can't you just let me walk in and buy one? I won't be a minute.
Dirt God, you horrible old witch. How could you possibly assume that it would be okay for you to park here? Perhaps you have the loose sense of morality that would leave you feeling guilt-free if you had to watch a pregnant human female with a toddler walk an extra 4 feet to the door of this shop, but I do not. You will have to move.
Oh, fine then, you bothersome man. I will just move to the next row.
That will not do, you disgusting wretch. That row is reserved for mothers with small children whose husbands have been sent away to war. The following row is for mothers with small children whose husbands have returned from war with mild to serious brain damage, or have suffered some sort of horrible facial mutilation. How could you be so insensitive?
You just made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Well, then you're in luck. There is a lot out back for people who are throwing up in their mouth a little bit. But you better go quickly, because you must be in the act of throwing up in your mouth when you park there.
It's too late. I've already swallowed it.
Dear God. You are truly the embodiment of everything that is wrong with the world. How could you feign a serious condition like throwing up in your mouth a little bit, just to get a better parking space? I hope you die a horrible painful death. Perhaps by falling off a cliff onto a pile of flaming thorn bushes covering a pitfall filled with rusty needles that are covered in human shit and AIDS.
Well, would there be a problem if I parked in that spot just around the corner there?
You are the most ignorant human being I have ever seen. That spot is reserved for mothers who are pregnant with twins who are in their second trimester or later, who have minimum of 4 children under the age of 6 who are all from different fathers, that have just returned from war as amputees with serious facial scarring, and suffer from the inability to decipher the difference between reality and a children's television show featuring colorful horse puppets that perform song and dance routines about oral hygiene and gun safety.
Well then, do you happen to have a space reserved for loathsome old whores who wasted their youth on drugs and alcohol and spread their legs for any disease-ridden bastard that happen to resemble their lecherous fathers and have spent the last 30 years of their lives trying to make everyone around them miserable because deep down they're empty and cold and no longer remember what it's like to love or to feel wanted by their families or even by a man as disgusting and poorly groomed as yourself, even if they were to strip down to nothing and flay their crotches open with the floor jack while shouting, "I lost my womb to a termite infection, so don't even bother pulling out"?
I'm so hard right now it actually hurts.